Welcome to AI Reverie, where we bring you the latest in artificial intelligence and tech innovation. Today, we have a deep dive into one of the biggest events of the year for developers and tech enthusiasts, Microsoft Build 2025. This year's event has taken a bold leap forward, putting AI at the heart of everything. From transforming the way developers code to reshaping how websites interact, Microsoft is charting a new course for the AI-driven future. Let's begin.
Welcome to the deep dive. If you've been trying, just keep up with all the AI announcements flying around, especially everything out of Microsoft Build 2025, you probably feel like you're getting hit with a fire hose of information. We totally get it.
Yeah, it's a lot. And that's really why we're here today. We're going to, cut through some of that noise.
Right.
We're taking a focused look at what we think are maybe the top 5 AI releases from Build this year. We've gone through the reports, this one really detailed article, actually, to pull out the key stuff.
The essentials without the overwhelm.
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty simple. Let's unpack these big announcements, really try to grasp what they mean for where AI is headed, and really importantly, how all this might actually impact you, the listener.
And we've got some really fascinating things to dig into. We're talking autonomous AI agents writing code.
Wow.
AI getting baked deeper into Windows, new ways to customize AI models, advanced developer tools, and even this platform aiming to speed up scientific discovery.
Okay, all right, let's dive right in then. First up, something that honestly sounds a bit sci-fi, GitHub's new autonomous AI coding agent.
Okay, let's break this down. What does autonomous actually mean here?
Right, so this is a real step up. Beyond the AI coding assistants we've sort of gotten used to.
Like Copilot suggesting things.
Exactly. Instead of just suggesting code snippets, this thing can act more like an actual member of your dev team. You can literally assign it GitHub issues.
Assign it an issue.
Yeah. And it just, goes off and starts the process of creating a pull request to fix it.
That's a pretty big leap. How does it actually work? I mean, it's not just spitting out random code, right? What's the process?
Yeah, no, definitely not magic. When it gets an issue, the agent basically spins up its own secure, kind of isolated dev environment.
Okay.
And it gets to work. It uses some pretty advanced reasoning to look at the existing code, figure out the context of the problem.
And then it drafts a pull request with the code changes needed. It can even, iterate on that draft based on feedback from code reviews.
Oh, so it learns from the feedback.
Exactly, yeah. Refines the code. And importantly, this all happens asynchronously. So it's just working away in the background.
Gotcha. And who gets to use this? Is it widely available?
Right now, it's rolling out for Copilot Enterprise and Copilot Pro Plus customers. And it's designed to handle, a decent range of tasks, adding features, fixing bugs, refactoring, even helping with documentation.
Okay. But security, always the big question when AI starts changing code. What are the guardrails?
Absolutely. That's top of mind. And security was a huge focus. So first off, the agent respects any existing branch protections you have set up.
Right.
Crucially, it always needs a human to approve things before it triggers any CI/CD workflows, the actual deployment pipeline.
So a human checkpoint.
Definitely. And it operates within whatever custom security policies the organization has set up.
Okay, that sounds pretty sensible. So with those safeguards, let's think bigger picture. What's the real shift here? Why does this autonomous agent matter so much?
Well, it really signals a pretty fundamental change in how we might approach software development.
How so?
Developers could increasingly become more like orchestrators rather than writing every single line of code themselves.
Interesting.
They can delegate more of the kind of implementation grind to these agents. That frees them up to focus on the higher level stuff. Architecture, strategy, those really tricky creative problems.
So it changes the developer's role.
Potentially, yeah. It could seriously speed up innovation and maybe even reshape how dev teams are structured. It's a big deal.
A profound evolution, yeah. Okay, let's pivot a bit. Another key area, Microsoft bringing AI closer to, our everyday computers with Windows. What's happening there?
Yeah, they're making a really big push to make Windows like a central hub for AI agents, both deploying them and running them. And they're doing this through a couple of key things. First, integrating something called Model Context Protocol, MCP, into Windows 11.
MCP. Okay, can you simplify that? What does that actually let you do?
Think of it like a common language, a standard way for different AI agents to talk to native Windows apps, system services, even external tools.
Ah, okay. Like a universal translator for AI on Windows?
Kind of, yeah. And interestingly, they're also bringing Anthropic's protocol into Windows too, which suggests they're aiming for more, interoperability, not just their own stuff.
Okay, and what's the second part of this Windows AI strategy?
That's something called Windows AI Foundry. This is basically a new framework for developers.
Right.
It lets them fine-tune AI models and then run them directly on their local Windows machine.
Ah, so running AI on the PC and not always in the cloud.
Exactly. That's the key. Windows AI Foundry supports deploying all sorts of models, open source, custom ones across, the different processors, CPUs, GPUs, and those new NPUs in Copilot Plus PCs.
Right, the neural processing unit.
Yeah,
Wow.
so a lot more AI processing can happen right there on your device,
Yeah.
which is fascinating because it could mean faster responses and better privacy, right?
Right.
Because your data doesn't necessarily have to leave your machine.
That privacy angle is huge. So connecting this back,
Mm.
why does having more AI on Windows matter? What's the real impact for users?
Well, the bigger picture here is Microsoft really positioning Windows as like the premier spot for building and running these next-gen AI agents.
The main stage for AI agents.
Pretty much. And by making this client-side processing easier, they're aiming for AI experiences that are faster, feel more secure,
Yeah.
and are more privacy conscious. Imagine apps that respond instantly and handle sensitive stuff locally. No constant cloud connection needed for everything.
Yeah, that local processing and privacy focus feels very relevant right now. Okay, let's shift gears again, making AI more specific, more tailored to what a business actually needs. What's this Copilot tuning thing?
Right, this is where it gets really interesting for organizations. Microsoft 365 Copilot tuning. It's a new tool, and it's low code, which is important.
No code.
It's part of Microsoft Copilot Studio, and it basically lets companies fine-tune the AI models using their own internal stuff, their data, their workflows, their specific knowledge. And crucially, you don't need like a PhD in AI to do it.
Okay, low code always sounds good. How does that work practically? Can, any company just start training its own custom AI?
Sort of, yeah. The idea is companies can feed it their own documents, details about how they do things, all that internal knowledge they have stored up, and use that to train the AI models further. So you can create agents using the agent builder that are really specific to how your company works. It lets you build AI that kind of gets the nuances of your business.
So the AI starts speaking your company's language, understands its specific processes.
Exactly that. And the low-code part is key. It really empowers businesses to build agents that get their unique jargon, match their communication style, and are just tuned for the tasks that really matter to them.
And are they providing any starting points? Or is it a blank slate?
Now, they're smart about it. They're launching with 3 pre-built recipes, they call them.
Recipes, okay.
Yeah, designed for common needs. There's expert Q&A, so the AI answers questions based on internal docs, document generation, creating docs in the company style, and document summarization for quickly getting the gist of long internal reports.
Gotcha. So what's the bottom line here? Why is Copilot tuning a big deal?
I think the fundamental thing is it's democratizing AI customization.
Yeah, making it accessible.
Exactly. But before, really tailoring AI models needed serious data science chops and engineering resources.
Yeah.
Big investment.
Right.
Copilot tuning lowers that barrier a lot. It makes it way easier for more companies, even ones without huge tech teams, to build AI agents that are super relevant to them using their own valuable data.
That could unlock a lot of value for businesses.
Okay, let's talk about the developers now. Azure AI Foundry, what new tools and power are coming their way?
Yeah, Azure AI Foundry got some pretty big updates, really aimed at developers building and managing AI apps and agents. A huge part of it is just access to more and more powerful AI models.
Okay, tell us about the models. What kind of firepower are we talking about?
Well, they've added some heavy hitters like xAI's Grok 3, Black Forest Labs Flux Pro 1.1,
Wow.
and also this massive library, over 10,000 open source models from Hugging Face.
10,000.
Yeah, it gives developers just this incredible range of AI engines to choose from.
Okay, that's a ton of models. So what can developers actually do with them? What are the options for customizing?
They've got more flexibility now. Azure AI Foundry lets you do full model customization using fancy fine-tuning techniques. You might hear terms like LoRa, QLoRa.
Right, the efficient tuning methods. Exactly. And also DPO, direct preference optimization. These basically let developers adapt these big, powerful models for very specific business needs, potentially using less data and compute power than older methods.
And Are there tools to help actually build the agents themselves, like pre-built components?
Yep. The Foundry Agent Service is now generally available GA, as they say,
Okay.
and that gives developers ready-to-use templates, actions, connectors, stuff designed to just speed up building secure, reliable AI agents that can talk to different systems and data sources.
Sounds like they're really smoothing the path for building these AI apps. Any other cool tools in the update?
Oh, yeah. They added a model leaderboard, which is pretty useful, right? Lets you compare models based on how they perform on certain tasks.
See what works best for your job.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And also a model router. This is neat. It's like an intelligent switchboard that automatically picks the best model for a specific query in real time, trying to balance performance and cost.
Smart. So, stepping back again, what's the overall significance of these Azure AI Foundry updates?
Well, looking at the whole package, it's all about making it way easier for developers to not just build, but also manage these increasingly complex AI applications and agents.
Okay.
Agents that can now, collaborate across complicated workflows, integrate much more deeply with existing company data and processes. It really paves the way for building scalable, truly enterprise-ready AI solutions.
That definitely feels like enabling the next wave of business AI. Now, let's explore something quite different. Microsoft stepping into scientific discovery with a new platform. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this one's really ambitious. Microsoft Discovery. It's an AI platform specifically designed to try and revolutionize scientific R&D.
Revolutionize? How?
The core idea is to deploy specialized AI agents across the entire scientific process, from the very beginning, the ideation phase, all the way through running experiments and analyzing the data that comes out.
So from the first what-if question to the actual lab results.
Exactly. And the platform is designed to be really flexible, modular. Research organizations can customize it with the tools, the plugins, the specific data sources that matter for their field, whether it's pharma or material science or whatever.
And how does it change how scientists actually work day to day?
Well, the goal is to create much tighter collaboration between the human researchers and these AI agents.
Okay.
The idea is the AI agents handle a lot of the routine, maybe data-heavy lifting tasks that eat up a lot of researcher time right now.
Freeing up the humans.
Right. Freeing up scientists to focus more on the creative thinking, the strategy, the really novel parts of the research.
What's the underlying tech? What makes discovery tick?
At its heart, it's built on a graph-based knowledge engine.
A knowledge graph.
Yeah. It's designed to map out and understand all the complex relationships between, say, a company's private research data and the huge amount of public scientific literature out there.
So it connects the dots.
Connects the dots, yeah. Lets the AI agents find connections and insights that might be really hard for humans to spot, especially at scale.
Sounds incredibly powerful, but also complex.
Yeah.
What's the main takeaway here? Why is this move into scientific AI significant?
It's basically a really bold bet by Microsoft on AI's potential to massively speed up science.
Right.
The potential for transformation is definitely there. But, its success probably hinges on whether AI can really go beyond just automation. And it actually contribute to that creative spark, the novel insights that lead to real scientific breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Kind of asks a big question about what discovery is.
That's a really interesting point. AI assisting is one thing, but real innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the big vision Microsoft seems to be painting, especially via their CTO, Kevin Scott. This idea of an agentic web.
Yeah, Kevin Scott's been talking a lot about this vision and agentic web. The basic idea is a future where these intelligent AI agents can kind of roam autonomously across different platforms, different tools.
Collaborating with each other, but also working really closely and seamlessly with people.
But he also warned about pitfalls, right? Something about closed systems.
Yes, he was quite strong on that. He cautioned against going down a path of closed proprietary approaches for this agentic web.
Why?
He used a really good analogy, the early internet. He said, look, if the basic web protocols like HTTP had stayed proprietary, owned by one company,
Right.
we'd have ended up with a much less innovative, much less valuable internet than we have today. He sees a similar risk with AI agents.
So what's Microsoft doing to try and encourage a more open approach then?
Well, they're actively building support for open agent protocols right into their main AI platforms. That includes MCP, which we talked about with Windows, and another one called A2A.
Yeah.
You'll see support in Copilot Studio, Azure AI Foundry. It signals they're serious about interoperability.
And he seemed particularly keen on MCP, the one from Anthropic originally.
He did, yeah. He directly compared MCP to HTTP, the web's foundational protocol.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah. He emphasized how simple it is, yet powerful, in letting AI models connect and use all sorts of external tools and services in a standard way.
And aren't they even open sourcing some tools to help build this open web?
That's right. They introduced NLWeb. It's an open source project designed to help turn regular websites and APIs into agentic apps, as they call them.
Okay.
The whole point is making more web content and services usable by these autonomous agents via that MCP protocol, just trying to foster that open, connected ecosystem.
So zooming out one last time, what's the big strategic reason for Microsoft pushing this open agentic web idea so hard?
It really looked like a deliberate strategic choice.
Yeah.
Maybe, learning from past experiences, antitrust stuff, the browser wars.
Mm-hmm.
By championing open protocols now, they're likely hoping to foster a more vibrant, interconnected agentic web, rather than a future where maybe a few tech giants control everything through closed ecosystems.
That's a fascinating angle on their long game and what the future of AI might look like. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into these top 5 AI releases from Microsoft Build 2025, it really feels like we're seeing a major step up, doesn't it? Towards that more interconnected, agent-driven future Kevin Scott described.
Absolutely. I mean, from autonomous code generation that could genuinely reshape software development to AI being woven right into the OS and making tailored AI much more reachable for businesses, the potential impact across so many areas is just huge. And things like Microsoft Discovery, even if ambitious, show this real belief in AI's power to tackle massive challenges like accelerating science.
So thinking about all these advancements, these more capable agents, the push for openness, the customization, what new possibilities or maybe even unexpected challenges do you see coming as these agents get more tangled up in our work and lives? And like we discussed, whether that future unfolds in an open way versus a more closed one? Well, that could make all the difference. Definitely gives us a lot to think about. Thanks for joining.